Okay, we are going to start at Suvarnabhumi Airport. Airports are one of the most important places of every country since it is the gateway to go abroad. The first place that tourists can see how our country looks like is Suvarnabhumi Airport. So, the main airport of Thailand is Suvarnabhumi Airport since 2006 and it is the largest airport in the country and ranked to be 20th century busiest airport in the world. Okay, for the next slide, you can see the image that show you the clear image about what we are going to provide in this project. So number 3, 4, 5, and 6 are what the current airport security already concerns. But in this project, we will focus on the process at number 1 and 2 outside of the airport and terminal. Security approaches for airports. There are few solutions for an airport security because currently they focus on the inside part of the airport. In other words, the airport will only check whether each passenger is harmless or not. Only when they are in check-in process before boarding, such as checking passengers' belongings and luggage by the metal detector. So in the picture, it is a picture of the flow of security checking. So at the first step, the passengers will arrive, and for the next, it will go to primary screening that will check by metal detector and X-ray scanner. If the passenger have not additional check required, they will have to pass to the boarding gate. But if they have to check required, they have to check by hand wand, pat down, and hand search at the secondary screening and then sent to the boarding gate. For the solution for this one, we will use the security officers. The security officers or guards are the simplest and most popular solution for security globally. Many organizations choose this method to protect their assets or any kinds of valuable because it might be the easiest to think of and also cheaper than other approaches. Besides, they are able to monitor, detect, and examine suspicious things efficiently. Before talking about this slide, I want to explain the security officer more first. For Suvarnabhumi Airport, these security officers are generally assigned to walk around the airport in order to check and guarantee the safety of every passenger. Some of them are with dogs so that they can detect the active drugs. Consequently, their tasks are relevant to the process of decision making since these officers have to ensure that everything is in the way it should be. So, how do they know? They have a decision making process. At this picture, you can see the step by step. Step 1, when they notice something peculiar, the officers must figure it out about what is that thing by their own method, such as monitoring, investigating, or asking. We call this step as identifying the problem. Step 2, once they know the problem, they have to analyze the problem immediately in a minute. In the problem analysis, the officers need to think about the cause of that particular problem as well as how to deal with it. Step 3. This step may not be beneficial much because in the real situation, the security officers actually have a little chance to think about the optional decision within a very short time. But if it is possible, it is better for them to have many solutions to choose. Step 4. The best solution must be selected in this step. However, it depends on each situation for identifying which is the best one. In our opinion, it is better to select the solution that has the least negative impact on the other people while be able to solve the issue problem effectively. Step 5. Then, the officers must take the selected solution into an action. Step 6. The last step is to report or share the taken decision or solution with other officers so they will know what to catch up For the next solution is CCTV. CCTV camera stands for closed circuit television camera. CCTV aims to produce images or recordings for surveillance or other purposes, such as keeping an eye on children or elderly. CCTV is widely used in various industries because it can act as a very successful deterrent to thieves and burglars in the cost-effective ways. Okay, let's see how CCTV camera works. In this diagram or this picture, it specifies the way security CCTV system works, the way it transmits data depending on the type of the camera, whether it is wired or wireless. Each camera will record the video and send to the central hub. If using wired connection, the video will be sent through LAN or CAT5 to the client monitor. But if using wireless connection, it will be passed to the central monitoring station via a router. Okay, for the next slide, I will explain why CCTV is popular. It is important to take security seriously in this era, not only for the business purposes that need good security, but also our homes as well. And CCTV camera is the right choice for us because it is the effective way to prevent the crime since it records everything. So why would they want to break the law if they know that they were being recorded and its video can be useful piece of evidence to help law enforcement solve crime. Also, with the CCTV system, we can monitor the safety of children and elderly folks while we are away to make sure nothing out of the ordinary is going on. Dual CCTV camera is very popular in this day. It also has some limitations as well. First, it can monitor in a limited area. In some cases, criminals may be able to change the angle of the camera to another direction. So the next is the image quality may be not good enough for identifying the object because the video is too dark or blurred. Additionally, even CCTVs enables users to record footage for later viewing and receive justice from the law. It cannot, however, stop a crime when it is in progress. It does not alert neighbors or the police like an alarm system would. If the criminal wore a mask and sunglasses to cover their face, like this picture, when they committed a crime, having CCTV camera is not help. Actually, nevertheless, there is no system that can completely protect the systems for 100%. It is up to the purpose of usage because everything has its advantages and disadvantages. ใครทำ For facial recognition system is a computing system that being used for identifying or verifying a person from a digital image or a video frame from a camera in security systems areas. It is not a new idea at all because many organizations have been developing and using this system for a very long time. I'm going to explain the application of facial recognition system. The facial recognition system has 6 areas that they have to use the application. So at first area, I explained the information security. They have used the access control or OS database, data privacy, user authentication. For the next area, access management, the application will use a secure access authentication, permission-based system, access logs, or audit trails. For the next, biometrics. The application will use person identification like IDs, passports, driver license. At the next, law enforcement. The application we use at the law enforcement will be video surveillance, suspect identification, suspect tracking. For the next areas, it will be personal security. The application will use home video surveillance systems. And the next areas, entertainment. The application will be home video game system like Xbox 360 or Kinect. Photo and photo camera application. So this is the flowchart of facial recognition system. It is a simple flowchart with a very basic idea to explain the facial recognition system. When a camera can detect a face, it will capture that face to identify the facial components such as eyes, mouth, nose, and chin. To perform recognition, in case there is no detected face, the camera will continue scanning. Then the system will match the face to the image or template in the database. If it is matched, then his or her information will be shown on the monitor. For here, facial recognition diagram, I will explain the diagram that interact with the database. The input of the facial recognition system must always be an image or video, and the output or result is an identification or verification of that person. The CCTV camera will keep scanning for finding a face in the area in a face detection process. It also has three sub-processes, which are face detection itself, face location, and face tracking. In this face detection process, once the face can be detected, the system has to identify the face location and track it, because the subject may walk around. If the system does not track the subject's face, it may lose that one into a crowd and has to find another instead. The basic face tracking process has to compute the differences between frames to update the location of the face. However, the head can be tracked as the whole entity or certain features separately depending on the system design. There are many issues that must be faced: partial occlusion, illumination changes, computational speed, and facial deformations. There are four methods for face recognition: knowledge-based methods, rule-based methods that translate the human knowledge of face into a set of rules, feature invariant methods using algorithms to find invariant features of a face without the problem of angle or position, template matching method, algorithms for comparing a face and stock faces, and appearance-based methods similar to the previous one but using a set of training images. However, we select the third method, template matching. Okay, I'm going to compare existing system and facial recognition system. At the present, airport security is about CCTV and security officers in order to monitor an entire Suvarnabhumi airport. The airport has a policy that protects the citizen first to prevent the situation that can occur in the airport. So that is the reason the airport has security officers and CCTV to record and monitor a suspicious person that can be danger to airport or people. But a face recognition system can do it too. With three of them, we have to compare that which one is better by finding the advantages and disadvantages of security officers, CCTV, and the face recognition system. So, for this table, I will explain the advantages and disadvantages of security officers first. The security officer for the advantage, they can guide or service the tourists like another reception for them. Like you see that the guy can be lost in the Suvarnabhumi, so maybe they lost with the tour group or anything else that can be a problem, they can ask the security officer to help them. And the next, the officers can take a dog to look for the bags that contain an illegal thing, like a drug or anything like a gunpowder or a gun that can be harm to the citizen or the airport. The next one is the officers are well prepared any situation that can happen in the future, because we never know that when the terrorists or the anything else or anything situation like a political or anything else that can be happen. So we have to know, we have to prepare first. And for the disadvantages, the airport has to hire more officers to monitor, making it costlier to pay, because they have to use more cost to pay for officer, that if they hire a lot, so they have to pay a lot. Next, the officers can make a human error, because they are human, they can mistake someone to terrorist or anything to the, like a, if they can see a suspicious person, maybe he just only panic or run around, the officer can be mistake to him like a terrorist or something that can occur in the bad way. The next, the officer cannot do any action until the situation is climax, because they need to have to wait the order to catch them like a catch terrorist or anything else. The next, the officers cannot remember all of the terrorists. Yes, because they are human, they cannot remember 1,000 people, 1,000 person like a terrorist, because their face is hard to remember. Next, the officers have to train more to prepare for the terrorist or criminal. With the we don't know that which situation that occur in the future, so they have to train to be a security officer, and it make them to pay a lot money. Okay, for the next is CCTV. CCTV is a good electronic device that can monitor the airport 24 hours and can record so that the staff can take a look at it later when they want to find a suspicious person or want to find lost luggage or the purpose from the tourist. Okay, I will explain the CCTV advantage first. CCTV can monitor 24 hours and can record everything that can happen in the airport, and it can help the tourists to find a lost thing or suspicious person. And for the disadvantages, CCTV has a high cost if we compare with security officer, but CCTV have to pay for one time only, but you have to pay the next maintenance every year. For the next, CCTV can have a problem with the electronic problem or anything else that can invade without permission to control them. Example like a hacker. Hacker can invade into the system and to control the CCTV. Yep. The next, CCTV cannot explain which one is criminal or terrorist to officer, because they cannot separate the tourist and the terrorist. So you have to define by yourself. Also, it has to be an expensive one for good performance and good resolution to record the video to find the officer. So to find the officer or criminal that you have to separate. But it can be a problem if someone can invade into the server and use it.